All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there's a blog, there's a video channel, and then there's another podcast that provides a transcript. So this is the video, which you can see if you want to by going to Spotify.com and look up my FX Buddies and I'm there. Okay, the blog is myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. And if you go there, also take a peek at this, Ride the Wave. You might find it something you want to use, and maybe not. But the thing, well, why would I go to the blog? Because you can see the pictures, you can see the entire articles. Although there's one, this may be a little different. I might read this one entire article because I like it so much. But it doesn't mean we're going to the bank next week or even next month. It's just I like this article. Okay, so let's see. I think that's everything. Oh, no. Anything that I talk about, cover, share is under the fair use disclaimer for teaching, commentary, criticizing, whatever. There we go. That's done. Fair use disclaimer. And yeah, wherever you're listening, if there's a subscribe or join or whatever button, if you'd like to click that because I don't update regularly. In fact, I didn't even think I would be. I think this is 3 days in a row that I'm posting. Wow, that hasn't happened in like forever. But it is a busy time. And then tomorrow is a holiday, so the place where many people hear me, I will not be. So I wanted to put this out. Okay. All right. So if you saw, the title of the post is replacing the Iraqi dinar with the dollar. What? No, we don't want that. Yeah, this is one of those instances where the title is totally different than the article. and I don't change things. I just leave things how they are and then I explain. But there's a lot of people that are new to reading articles and sometimes they just want to read the title and no, you can't do that. You have to also read the article because very often what the title gives or what the headline gives, the article takes away, is what a friend of mine and I used to say. Well, and I still say. But so this article came out later in the day. And there's even more. I'll probably post again tomorrow just because there was more. But okay, let's get into. So if you didn't hear the one yesterday or maybe even the day before, I don't know. I know there's background noise that it shouldn't be that loud though. Hopefully it's not, but I can't turn that off. But anyway, okay. So, they had said, oh, Sunday's going to be an unprecedented day because people are going to rush the banks and want their money in dollars. Well, I do think it happened, but on a smaller scale than what they thought. And it could also quite possibly be because of other events that took place that are just a little more important. But I'm not going to talk about that because Spotify has different, like most people know what you can say on the YT, figure out what that means. But Spotify has their own things, right? So I'm just not going to talk about that. But that is big. It is horrific. Now, for me, for my timeline, right? Because I didn't think this was going to happen until either late December, like December 20th, 21st, 19th. like when they devalued. So, this is not affecting my timeline. I'm still, and wait till I read this article to you. But, so people who are looking for it tomorrow or this week, I do believe that that would affect their timeline because, let me see if I can say anything safely. Well, while we in America and I guess Christians view this sacred state one way, the people in Iraq, they're on the other side. So they're celebrating, right? So, I don't know. Well, not all of them, obviously, but there are some that are celebrating and um, calling for support to what I would consider the other side, right? Um, so it's just a mess. It's a messy time. And also, well, I'll just say this. Maybe I can say it was a 50-year anniversary of something that happened. I don't know. But it was the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles. And it was also the Sabbath. So it was like the perfect time to, um, I guess I can say attack. That shouldn't be a problem. But anyway, so I do know I can already see other countries, and also Saudi Arabia was about to do what they call normalization. If you don't know what that is, look that up. With Iran. So I do believe there's going to be some discussion there, and some of the other countries. I think the UAE has voiced some displeasure with Iran. Um, yeah, because they're ready to get rolling. Yes, respect of life. Yes, we do that. But Iraq's been put on hold for 20 years, right? And there's countries and governments that are ready to move forward with the same thing we're ready to move forward with, right? Okay, I think that was good. I think that was a good, safe way to say that. All right. So, and it's not over. It's not over by the least. There will be retaliation. It's just, it's going to be a mess. It's a mess already, but it's going to be even messier. Anyway, I know I shouldn't. I sound like a total, what is it? Pessimist, right? But I know that it is that's what's going to happen. All right. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So let's go to, here's on a brighter note. Here, they're opening of a residential complex project in Baghdad that includes the highest skyscraper in Iraq. So see, they need some money and some investment to do that, right? Um, there was a picture. This is not the picture. They have like a little model design of it. But anyway, okay. So let's see. Iraq dollar ban. Tough choices for the coordination framework. We don't really care about them. But let's see. Oh, and of course they had two. Well, I found two articles. They may have been more about the Parliamentary Oil and Gas Committee ruled out approving the draft oil law in the current parliamentary session. So if you hear me, I'm saying if that is the case, that kicks it to next year because they're going to end their session. I don't know when, but I think November, the middle of November is when their session ends. But anyway, so we'll see. They could say, oh, look, we agree. We have a draft here that we agree on, right? They could do that. Okay. So let's see here. Oh, this was interesting. Is this the article this is from a crypto site. Iraq is set to fuel de-dollarization by banning the buck from being used in cash transactions. So again, we know they made this announcement, but the focus on this article and others like it is more of de-dollarization because that's where the crypto world is, right? Everyone wants, oh, the dollar's going down. Nobody wants the dollar, right? So, but I just thought it was interesting. I thought the name of the publication was in here, but it's not. But it was like crypto. Let me see. I might have it up here. Oh, I think this is it. Cryptopolitan. I've never even heard of that, but you can see that there. Cryptopolitan. Yeah, so, all right. So even the crypto world is looking at the changing of the rate of the Iraqi dinar. Okay, let's see. This is good. A specialist is likely to make minor changes to the 2024 budget, but we knew that because they did 3 years of a budget, right? Okay, this article came out. The dollar is forbidden to Iraqis, and a Jordanian bank alone accounts for 70% of sales. What is the story of the central bank? So this article kind of implicates the central bank is in cahoots with this Jordan bank. They get the 70% of the financial transfers. So not the cash, right? But they're getting electronic dollars. So it looks like there may be some exposure to corruption, but they just made this deal with Jordan, right? To open four branches of a bank. So nothing, in my opinion, nothing's gonna happen. They'll apologize, you know, yeah, you caught us, sorry. But in actuality, if everything goes the way the CBI has planned, they only have January. They're not going to be using dollars anyway, right? So they say, right? That's the plan anyway, and they're putting it out boldly. It's all over everywhere that that's the plan. So we'll see. Okay, here's a guy. He says the euro is the key to resolving the dollar crisis in Iraq. Let's start using more euros, and we won't have this issue with the dollar. And guess what? They have a plan to use euros, right? They're going to use UAE. What is that? United Arab Emirates money, Jordan dinar, Chinese yuan, which they're already using just on a very small scale, the euro, and others, right? Remember they said and others. So, all right. Here, this paragraph is good. I thought I had it bolded, but apparently it is not. But they talk about all the money, the hoarded money, all the money that the citizens, those who save their money in US dollars. And this will also aim to withdraw the dinar block from the funds hoarded by citizens because the Iraqi government has a scarcity of the Iraqi dinar due to the explosive budget, right? So really, the problem is they don't really want to use either money because they're in a transition, right? They're transitioning and they're supposed to have new money. So they don't want the people using dollars. They don't want the people using the 3-0 notes. They want them using cards. Well, the people don't want to use cards. So I think that's what's happening. And they were scared which they should be, I'll say frightened. They were frightened. Um, oh, here's a good article. Um, an Iraqi warning of the explosion of the Middle East if Washington interferes with what is happening in, I'm not going to say, but it starts with a P and ends with an E. No, this is from Iraq's point of view, right? Um, but so it looks like they got dollars, but they can only have so many dollars. Perhaps the banks were doing stuff with the dollars they shouldn't have been, but had this issue not come up with that man screaming, I'll burn this bank down if I can't get my money in dollars, that kind of spooked the people. So that was going to make them all go get their dollars. But guess what? The same thing would happen here. If we all woke up and went to the bank and said, hey, I want my money in cash, guess what? They'd say, oh, no, we can't do that. We don't have that much cash. We can give you a cashier's check. You can come back tomorrow and we can give you half and half, right? So it's not an uncommon thing when a whole bunch of people go, and it is a run on the bank, right? So, and maybe, we don't know, maybe the same thing would happen if they all went and said, hey, I want all of my money in dinars. If all the people got up and went and said, hey, I want to pull all my money out and I want it all in dinars, we don't know. They may have had a liquidity crisis with that too, right? We don't know. But they're used to using the dollars. They're still comfortable with the dollars. So word spread, oh, they're not giving us dollars, which caused a panic. Okay, so here's an article. The Iraqi economy is at the mercy of monthly dollar shipping flights from Washington. Now, a lot of people didn't know that. And this is, again, it's what, 2, 3 days later, they're still writing articles based on the Wall Street Journal article that came out, which if you didn't read, you should. I have it posted, I think, two blogs ago. Anyway, so yeah, let's see. Oh, here, Iraq decided they're gonna pay their foreign workers in dinar as well. And the foreign workers had probably been getting cash and sending it back to wherever they live or wherever they came from. But now they're going to have to get the dollar equivalent in dinars, right? So there's another way of cutting down corruption, cutting down how many dollars a bank needs to have, right? So they're talking about that. And I was surprised how long that article is. Okay. Economist warns of an imminent disaster due to the dollar ban. But it's not really a dollar ban, right? It's really not banned until 2024. It just seems like all of a sudden they started early. And who knows? Maybe they did. Maybe some people legitimately went to go get dollars and they were told, no, we're not giving you dollars, you have to take dinar. Matter of fact, one of these articles, this right here is a really great article, but I know not a lot of people are gonna read it because it is long. But the underbelly of Iraq's economic boom. Yeah, you should read that. Okay. But let's see. And they had more pictures, but unable to be posted in the forum. Oops. I didn't mean to say that. Okay. Anyway, let's see. There's even one article that says the bank was terrified because there's so many rules, right? The bank was terrified to give dollars out because they don't want to get penalized. Let's see. Here's another article about the oil and gas law will not pass in its form. And here's another one. Okay. The parallel market has become more powerful. Yeah, thanks to what happened today or Sunday, if whatever day you're listening to this. Oh, here, this is good too. Seizing the dollar and violating the law, the Association of Banks evades its duties and remains silent. So they had this guy's picture on TV today, so they were talking about him. He is the not this person here. This person is complaining about the Iraqi Bank Association. I know his name when I see it, and I recognize his face. So we're down to, that's how we know they're making progress. We're down to the private banks being the only banks that are not buying the dollar in the way they're supposed to. But remember 2 weeks ago, I think now, they said, okay, you got us. We'll get on the program. We'll start buying dollars the way we're supposed to. Let's see. Yeah. Association. See, they're holding the Association of Private Banks responsible. Here, the dollar is forbidden to Iraqis. No, we are. So here's a different version of that article. But here's a picture. See, there were people out in front of the bank. You can see the metal gate is still rising is still rising. So they were just opening. So people were out in front of the banks waiting for them to open. That did happen, but that's not a whole lot of people, right? It's not like they thought. That's a branch that's in a mall. It says the bank branch in the mall witnessed a state of chaos this morning following the protest of dozens of customers, demanding the disbursement amounts of foreign transfers coming into their accounts or the withdrawal of previously deposited balances. So the dollar at 11 a.m., they had run out of dollars. And like I said, if we all went to the banks and we all asked for cash and they gave it to us, they would run out also. Okay, then let's see. This is not the one that I was looking for, but this is the same branch. Oh no, you know what? This is a Ramadan branch. So this might be a different bank, but this is the Trade Bank of Iraq. Okay, so then the CBI put out a warning: if you don't give people who qualify to get dollars, if you don't get them dollars, you're going to be in trouble. That's what it says. Doesn't say what kind of trouble, but they are open. The CBI does have a dollar complaint line. People can call in. That's not good. I'm watching the game. Okay, so yeah, they will. In this regard, the bank will take into account the complaints received from your customers and will take the necessary measures against the banks that refuse to comply with the above. So it was just a short little thing, but it was a reminder and something that came out um, in March. Actually, the first one was in June of 2020. Then there was an update in March of 2023. So, all right, let's see. Withdrawing the U.S. Federal Reserve will end the dollar crisis. Yeah, this guy's like, you know what? Just stop. Just get away from them. Why are we using the Federal Reserve anyway? Clearly, that person doesn't understand. Oh, but yeah, so they're blaming it on that. The central bank has taken an additional decision that will worsen the exchange rate. And I think that was just the making the announcement, right? Or they're playing on the fears of stopping cash withdrawals. It says that right here. But if you're not looking at the video or if you're not on the blog, you don't see that. Okay, let me see. Yeah, here. We have a dollar, but the withdrawal terrified the banks. An Iraqi banker's testimony about Sunday's chaos. Customers who wanted to clear the accounts, see, they were like, give me all my money. And they couldn't do it. So today, Sunday, citizens attacked all banks in the capital in an unprecedented manner against the backdrop of the central bank's recent decisions to adopt the dinar. And see, again, that's just people not understanding. It doesn't take effect yet. It said 2024, but that's not what got out, right? They just heard they're not paying us dollars anymore. Go to the bank and get your money. And isn't that how things happen? Okay, so this is a different bank, a standalone bank. You can see the ATMs are there. I don't know which bank this is though. I don't think it said. Central bank portfolios. Yeah. But yeah, so they did. I still don't think it was as large or chaotic as it would have been had the whole thing that happened, the attack. Um but yeah, so let's see. So this is just another article about it in Russia TV. Oh, here's more talk about getting that Iraq fund together and making it available for people to take money from it. And here that I didn't even mean to post that here, but here they found some more MasterCards loaded with dollars that were going to be smuggled out, but they found them. And this is very forward, straight to the point. The Iraqi central bank warns banks that refuse to provide foreign currencies, which in most cases is the dollar. The Central Bank of Iraq announced that it may take the necessary, oh, look at the time, may take the necessary measures against banks that refuse to provide hard currency. This came after the central bank received many complaints about banks not providing dollars to depositors, according to CNBC Arabia. So, who watches CNBC Arabia? They do, right? The Central Bank of Iraq warned that it may take the necessary measures against those banks. So they tried to calm the fears, but I don't think it worked. Okay, let's go back to, I guess I won't have time now to read this entire article, but if you don't read anything, you should go and read this article. How can I hurry up and get to the top? Oi, what is that? Sorry if you're watching this. Don't mean to make you dizzy. Oh, and if you ever go to the blog, over here to the right are the previous ones. See that? So, because it's made for mobile devices. And I don't know if this part shows, but you're on today's, which is Sunday, October 8th. And then if you go over here, yesterday's, and so I posted 3 postings in October, but see here, they're not live, but if you, because this is a preview, right? See, this is a preview, but if this was the actual post, they would be clickable links. All right, but anyway, so finally, the Central Bank of Iraq announced in a statement last week that the coming year will witness the restriction of all internal, commercial, and other transactions to the Iraqi dinar instead of the dollar, except for those delivered to travelers. Financing foreign trade will be directly for merchants dealing in remittances outside the electric platform through licensed banks that will deal with correspondent banks in foreign transfer operations and in the local currency of the country from which the merchant wants to import. The dollar auction will be gradually dispensed with, and the central bank will intervene to control the exchange rate through a shift in its tools. Cash, which will be more effective in achieving monetary stability due to the expected decline of the so-called black market and the emergence of a real parallel market that will effectively contribute to financing the total demand for foreign currencies after the local currencies of the trading countries are traded within the parallel market following the opening of transfer channels for those currencies in an official way. Thus, we will witness a new phase in which exchange rates will be more stable than the phases witnessed in previous years if dollar smuggling operations are controlled, which is expected to decline automatically with the decline of the dollar supply on the black market. At that time, the country will witness the real beginning of an attractive investment environment, as the confusion in the dollar exchange rate was often an element that repelled investors due to their inability to delve into the area of expectations in which the exchange rate was fluctuating, which makes financial feasibility studies more difficult in calculating construction and operating costs and recovery periods. Isn't that great? That is great. And if you don't know what I just read, you could go to rss.com and get the transcript and read it. But this is everything we want to hear. It's just not going to happen until 2024. And so there's one paragraph I'm going to have to skip because we're at 32 minutes. I apologize. But I hope this is helping you. I hope this is helping you understand. I hope you're seeing that things are different. The people feel more free to voice what they want, right? There's transparency. There is more, I'll say more transparency. I think the citizens are getting a better understanding of how their money system's working, and they're not liking it, and they're letting it be known that they're not liking it. So yeah, I don't think it could last longer. But so they also talk about the lower exchange rate of neighboring countries' currencies against other currencies, such as the Iraq. I'm just kidding. I just can't help myself. That's from something that happened a long time ago. But anyway, such as Turkey, Iran, and Syria, compared to the exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar. So here they're saying they have lower, we all have these different exchange rates, and theirs is even lower than ours. But we all have to trade together, right? The lower the cost of producing goods in those countries, the cost of production is comparable to that in Iraq, which makes the investment environment unattractive at the level of production of traditional goods produced in neighboring countries unless borders are controlled to protect the local product in addition to protecting exchange rates from currency smuggling. So I wouldn't be surprised if shortly after Iraq gets their money right, Turkey, well, we know Iran is supposed, well, some people believe Iran is supposed to go. Turkey's been at all-time lows. I don't even check Syria. I don't know what's up with Syria's money, but because they all do trade together, their currencies may change as well. But anyway, so if you go to the blog, that is the top article, and I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so it is coming up on 35 minutes, so I'll just keep it short. thank you for listening. I hope it helps you um, hang in there, right? Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. And stay in there. It's going to happen. And I won't say soon, but activity and events make me feel they can't hold it out much longer than the end of this year or the beginning of next year without having serious problems. All right. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you're enjoying this content. And until next time.